Hi, so this is Sarah, and I run the Once Upon a Mirror blog, and I had a request to do sort of like a demo video, like while I work. As a little disclaimer, I tend to talk a lot and ramble a lot and go off on like 20 tangents at a time, like kind of how like this is. So, I apologize in advance for that. So before I get started, I kind of want to talk about like why I'm redoing the hook. I was originally going to do whale next in the series, but I just kind of figured you guys probably would be way more interested in seeing hook, right? So there's a couple of things that I do and don't like about this drawing. The first is I like the pose. I thought the pose was good, but it's not really Hook's body. It's not like Colin's body. It's like kind of more like David Tennant's body. Like Hook is like not like this like narrow, you know. Because I went and looked back at some reference photos. Oh my god, text. And ooh, look at all those emails. Oops, no, not where I wanted. And if you look here, like here, I'm gonna copy this image. Oh damn it, what's happening? Oh, whatever. Okay. So I copied the image. I'm gonna go back to Photoshop, and you can kind of just see like it's just not really Colin's body. Like Colin's a bit like wider. He's still pretty thin, obviously, and buff and all that, but he's not this. He's not like gangly, kind of like I gave this Hook. And you know, it just like doesn't really look that much like Colin either. It's like a very stylized version of him, and you know, it's like generally speaking, when you're working in a series, especially like the first, or really when you're like doing any project, like your first attempt is usually kind of like what sets the stage, but it's not something you want to end up keeping. Kind of like if you like in the female group photo, like this isn't the original Emma. I think I deleted it, but originally it was it was like the first thing I did. I had done this like practice. I had done this like doodle of Emma, and then from there I wanted to do another one, and then from there I wanted to do another one, and then when I finally finished the series, Emma didn't look. She just didn't fit in. So I decided to redo her, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way she came out and the way it looks now. So same with the guys. Hook was the first one I did. I'm actually not totally done, but Hook was the first one I did, and you know, as soon as I put him next to another guy, I sort of started realizing. Somebody else into that. I started realizing all these errors about the body because I'm not as comfortable drawing men, and I didn't use a pose reference for this Hook, which I think was the issue. And I didn't really use a pose reference for Robin Hood either, so I was kind of surprised that I still like it. But by the time I got to David, I started realizing like, David's like a much bigger guy. He's built differently, and I needed a reference photo. And then it was so much easier. So and then for Rumple, and then for me, I used everyone. And after that, I used reference photos. I just kind of it's not something I normally do when I'm working, but just because I'm doing portraits, I think it's pretty necessary. So yeah, I'm just gonna delete that later. Okay, so let's go back to the new one. So like I was saying, I started gathering some reference photos, and this is the hard part because I have to look at all these beautiful photos of Colin O'Donoghue. But you know what? Life is full of struggles. Can't be perfect. So what I'd like to do is I kind of just collect photos and bring them over to the side. So what I'm going to do is kind of like merge photos because I like the way he looks here. And that's kind of what I was going for in the first one. Oops. So, and then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. If I was a smarter person, I would probably just make the white page bigger. So I didn't have to like have all this shit against the top of it. Oops. But I'm not a smarter person, so I'm just stubborn like that. So, so this is the general size of the frame. I'm probably gonna have to adjust it later. So, come on. Okay, so for me personally, I really like to, when I'm working digitally, I kind of don't like things that look perfect. It's like, for me, I feel like it's too, like, one of the downsides of digital is that you can just get kind of like too obsessive in one spot, and you can really get stuck there, and it just looks kind of like, it looks fake, you know, and I think that one way to kind of keep that, one way to keep it sort of like, felt like it's like drawn by the human hand, this is just my personal opinion, I don't mean to like affront anyone, I just feel like one way to do that is by using kind of like rougher brushes and textured brushes. So I use, generally speaking, I use pencil and chalk, and then for this series I've been using just airbrush as a kind of like a detail thing. And then a lot of the times that I'm working, I also use this chalk brush, but I haven't used that in the series. Instead, I've just been using, oops, do what I want. Okay, I've been using mostly this brush. Sometimes this one, but mostly that one. Okay, so I'm just going to use the same color palette from the first one. I'm going to take off that warming layer.